All right, my friends, here we go. Let's take a look at a couple of things. I know you got some questions on your mind. Probably wondering, what the heck's the market doing? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go sideways? We'll look at that. What else are we going to look at? I'll show you some of the tokens that I'm feeling pretty good about that I've been adding to, just so you know what I've been buying. Of course, I have to mention that it's not financial advice, all that usual stuff. Definitely take that serious. You only want to invest what you can afford to lose, and I've been there before. I've lost a significant amount of money before, and I've been there at the top as well. I've made a lot. So just be aware that it's not everything it seems to be. I mean, having a bunch of money, sure, it's great to be able to pay your bills, but aside from that, the material things for me anyway, they didn't really mean a whole lot, once I had them. Sometimes the struggle, it's kind of like when you're chasing a significant other. It's the chase that's the most fun part. So just enjoy the ride with this. I mean, it's not going to happen right away for many people. Don't compare yourself to other people in any facet of life, but especially in regards to, maybe you see somebody that threw like 0.2 ETH into a meme coin and now they're millionaires. Well, that's like the 0.001%. You're just not going to see something like that every day. So don't go chasing those memes for that specific reason. If you feel intuitively that you want to jump into a token, that's fine, but just be aware that most memes don't do that well. And people do end up losing a lot of money with memes. And even with, some high caps, people lose money. Okay, so let's start out with, let me just show you a couple things here. Well, this one I have pinned where, one of our big wins back when, I guess this was late March, early April, we did an 18x on infra. And what I really want to do is try to find more of these for you, but it's harder to find them when, Bitcoin is just kind of going sideways or down. So there haven't been a whole lot of these lately, although we found a few that have done like 2x, 3x in the Discord group, and all that information's below if you're interested in it. But we're gonna try to find some more of these, and I'll post the charts in there for them as well. Somebody asked about TAO. Let's see here. So all I was saying here about TAO, and if you're not following me on Twitter and want to, it's at Bike for Sale. The TAO levels that I'm watching are about 360. I know a lot of you are big into TAO, but if you lose that, well, it's really like 345 to 360. If you lose that area, then it's probably coming back down to here. I don't think it will. I think it probably will hold this, but we just never know what's going to happen. It's trying to build market structure there. So if it can hold above this point of control over the last month, then it would take off from there, I think. Let me see if there's anything else on here that's interesting, and then we'll get into the rest of it. I think TradingView is still doing their 70% offer, 70% off offer. So if you like using TradingView for charts, you probably want to take advantage of that. GLQ continues to get more smart money eyes on it, I was saying here. And all of these smart money charts that I post is found through Nansen AI. And I do have information on how to save on a yearly subscription with them in the description below as well, if you want to look at that. But that's kind of smart money research. It's a lot of what I do and what our Discord group does. Let's see, I think that's about it. Yeah, let's just get into Bitcoin really fast, and I'm going to show you some things, and then we'll get into smart money. Actually, let me type this in so I don't forget. All right. I did some volume profiles ahead of time just to look at these moves that Bitcoin had made. And this was from, well, the first one was from September of last year to January of this year. And then there was another big move, January of this year to, well, about mid-March, when I was saying to, keep some profit on the side because it looks like it was going to dip, and it did. The area that I'm most interested in is the point of control, this red line, because that's where most of the volume buying and selling took place. Although if you're talking about this first move, it could even come down here because there is an order block. There's an order block here, there's an order block here. So there is still a chance that we could come down to like 40 to 42K. I think it's a smaller chance, but if you think about it logically, if they wanted to scare people, somebody was to see, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if somebody was to see this, they would say, oh, that looks like a head and shoulders starting to form. And then they might bring it up. And I'm just thinking psychologically about what the market makers might do to try to grab as much liquidity, to reset the mentality of everybody in the space, just because if you think about it, in order for them to push price up, they have to move it down. There's just no other way to do it. Price can't continue to go up because eventually people are going to run out of money. And so they have to do these choppy moves with the algorithm and fake people out up and down and take their money. I don't know what's going on with the music here, why it's doing that. But, just getting back to this idea where it could do like a head and shoulders look and then just fake everybody out and send it up. I mean, that's kind of like an extreme. I don't think that we will go down to 40K, but the reason why I want to put that thought out there is just because that's where most of the volume, that's where most of the support resides, if it was to start dipping. And I'm going to show you, I mean, the other thought is that it just, keeps going sideways. And maybe there's a channel here that it wants to hold. I mean, there's an order block right there, so it could come down to there. So maybe it just kind of bounces sideways for a while. And we don't know when it's going to take off. Nobody does. But I'm going to show you here in a second on the presidential chart how the historical view says that we could go sideways for 3 to 4 months. It is a possibility. And so clearly that's an idea. Well, let me just do a little line here. So this is a possibility. It could dip into this zone. And then this is a possibility. Or it could dip into this zone just because of this point of control. But you got a value area high right here from this move out, where this blue line is, and a point of control right there. At the very least, you want to see it hold this. If you want to see alts continue, some of them continue to do well, where you can at least make some money while you're waiting on Bitcoin to get super bullish again. And when Bitcoin gets hyper bullish like that, that's when you can just throw a dart and just pick any alt pretty much and make money. And that's why I like smart money with Nansen. Studying smart money is because you can find out which ones are the big movers, or the ones that are moving currently, the ones that have the most eyes on them. And I'll show you, we'll go through some of the signals here in a minute, and I'll show you some of the ones showing up right now currently. And a lot of times it's a brand new token. So those are just some ideas of what could happen. Again, if we were planning it out, it's either doing this, or it's doing this, and maybe even sweeping a low and coming back up and then taking off. Or you're here for a little bit and then you come down to here and then it takes off. I've seen this happen previously before. I mean, you can just look right here even if you wanted to. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call, 1 second. All right, yeah, I mean, even if you want to just look at something like this looked like a head and shoulders as well, and then it pumped. So even if something like this happens, which I think it's a very low probability that this happens, it's more likely that we either go sideways or maybe just sweep down here real quick. But if it was to happen, I believe this would be a fake out. People would think that this head and shoulders was going to go down further. I don't think that would happen. But just remember, you got supply, demand. So here's your demand down here. I'll just label it as a D. Here's your supply up here. I mean, simple market structure says it ladders up or it ladders down. This is your uptrend, that's your downtrend. So if you're, say, up here, like we are currently, and then it dips into the demand zone, you're going to get a lot of people buying because that's a discount. They're getting a discount and they want to get it as cheap as they can. Most people don't want to buy it up here at a premium. A lot of people are selling up here. And so, there's smaller supply demand areas, as, kind of like Elliott wave theory. There's smaller Elliott waves within a larger wave. And the same thing here, there's smaller demand supply zones on a lower time frame. And so you might get something like this. It could even dip down one more time and then finally get back up to the supply, people to start selling, and then eventually supply turns into demand. Now it's created a higher high above the supply zone. And so now you got something completely different where this is the demand zone and now you got a new supply zone up here. So hopefully that makes sense. Very basic. All right, let me look at ETH Bitcoin pair. Clearly, it's very similar to what happened here prior to right about the halving of 2020. I just want to point out that just because ETH had a big candle up, number one, I think it moved up too quick. It's probably going to come down 50%. Might even get some sideways movement. You can see right here it went up really quick and then it came back down about 50%, maybe a little bit more. This is probably a golden pocket retrace if I was to put a fib on this. But notice how this just went sideways, kind of created a triangle, and then it finally broke out after the halving. And I'm not saying we're ready to break out right now because it does look like it's rejecting here. I'm saying you're probably going to see some kind of triangle sideways movement, maybe even a channel, some kind of consolidation. And then eventually you're going to get that breakout. So just note that these look similar to me. And now if we jump over here to the presidential chart that I made, very simple. I mean, it's just number one, a couple things to call out. It's checking the amount of days between the very bottom of each cycle to the top, which is 1,071. So you can see that right here in this highlighted area going sideways. And that's why I have the Bitcoin top is October 20th, which I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. But October 2025 is, if this was to continue, from the historical basis, then that's about where we would top out. It could top out earlier. I mean, we really don't know when it's going to top out. But I don't feel like it's going to be this year, just based on what I'm seeing out of price action. Because to me, this is still looking very similar. And here's the other thing to call out to you. You've got a halving here in 2016, and then you've got a U.S. presidential election, when the president's actually elected in 2016 right here. And so there's a period between these two where prices either come down a little bit, maybe even wick down really hard, back down to support, and then gone sideways for, what is that? That was July to November. Yes, that's 4 months. And then here you go, right here is May to November, which that's even more, that's even longer, that's about 5 months. And then over here, now we are looking at our present time, and we're just barely past the halving. I mean, I'm not saying it absolutely has to work out like this, I'm just saying it could. And notice how that does look like a head and shoulders, like I talked about a minute ago. I actually drew this pattern, I don't know, maybe a month ago, something like that. Yeah, it was about the end of April I drew that. And it's not really following it, but that's not the point. The point is that it can go sideways for longer than most people think it can. And hopefully it stays within a tight range, because if it does, then that means some alts can still perform well, can outperform, of course, Bitcoin, but other things that can outperform ETH as well. Some altcoins can. But if Bitcoin was to dip here, then most of the alts would follow it. In fact, usually, I'd say 95% of the alts would follow it. They would be red as well. So anyway, it's just a matter of time. What I tell the people in our Discord is, continue to accumulate the tokens that you like, the projects that you like, that you feel good about. Use your intuition, use charts, whatever you need to. But the main point is, if you've got like a a token that's 50, 70, 90% down, and you really feel good about it, good about the team, good about the angel investors or the venture capitalists that are backing this, or even if it's a meme, you know, like the Trump memes or the Biden memes, you know, all the presidential type memes. If you want to jump into one of those and ride it to the presidential election, you know, just try to buy these things at discount if you can, because there is a chance that they could dip some more. But what I would be looking for in this case is, as far as as something that would discredit this idea, you would have to see Bitcoin put in a pretty good candle above this line. You know, right now we are rejecting. It's probably easier to see here. So right now we are rejecting at about the all-time high, a little bit under it. Yeah, so it's pretty much, yeah, I mean, it has retraced this whole big breakout candle that we had. Well, I wouldn't really call it a breakout candle, but it was a breakout from this range anyway, because this was resistance at one point and it broke out of that. But we've got no breakout above this up here. And that's why I think there's still a chance we could go sideways longer. It's kind of like a triple top if you were to look at it from a higher time frame, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't look good on a 3-day chart, does it? I mean, you could definitely see it coming down further. I'm just trying to get an idea what kind of pattern we could be looking at here. I mean, it just could be sideways, right? You got that, and then maybe you got that. Maybe it just goes sideways for a bit. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm never going to be 100% correct. Nobody ever will. But, you know, it's fun to think about what could happen and to try to prepare for it. So we'll just move on. Oh, wait, there is one more thing I wanted to show you. A lot of people are asking, you know, why are their alts not performing well right now? Well, it's the point that we're in. It's the period between the halving and the US presidential election. And it's not really about the election or the halving. It's about liquidity cycles and where the price action of Bitcoin is. Like we were talking about earlier, the market makers have to bring it down and grab that liquidity, you know, get more people to enter the market, or get more institutions mainly to enter the market, because retail does not push this market no matter what somebody tells you. If I bring, and just getting back to the altcoins, if I bring ADA into here, which was a really good performer last cycle, and we look at the period between halving and the US presidential election, and I'm just using this as a timer just because it's easier to talk about than liquidity cycles. You know, you had a big downtrend even while Bitcoin was going pretty much sideways. And then after halving, it had a little bit of a bump, just like Bitcoin did, but it mostly went sideways into the election, and then it had another pump. And then that was the main pump. So just understand that if this cycle plays out like it did last time or the last few times, then you're going to get the majority of your gains going forward. You know, a lot of people thought that October, November was a good time to hold altcoins, and it was for sure, but you haven't seen anything yet. I mean, it's this next, whether it happens late this year or whether we get the really big parabolic move early in 2025, you know, that's when you're going to see the massive gains in your portfolio. But again, only risk what you're willing to lose. Don't play around with your, you know, with your rent money or with, you know, money for your family that you need. I mean, money's just not that important aside from paying bills. It really isn't. But it's good to have, obviously. I mean, it does open up more opportunities for you. Okay, so PRQ, this is one that I've been accumulating, and I think I started accumulating about 12 cents, maybe here, a little bit higher. It was somewhere in here, and then I bought a little bit more, about 11 cents or 10 cents, somewhere in here. I'm not saying it's going to go up right now, but this is an RWA play, a RWA narrative, real world asset. And I believe that if they reevaluate, or if they tie the the new currency, whatever it is, whether it's crypto, if they tie it to oil or gas, I mean, not gas, oil or gold or silver, then RWA narrative tokens would see a big benefit from that, because that's kind of that narrative. So I want to have some exposure to tokens like this. Boson is another good one, BOSON. But I don't know, I just intuitively, I felt like I should add some to PRQ, and that's what I did. I'm buying incrementally right now, you know, the same way that you size out, or that smart money sizes out of positions as price appreciates. As price goes down, I don't really call it DCAing, because I'm putting in very small amounts and I'm doing it strategically. You know, it's certain areas that I think support could hold. So as this one gets closer to a support area, I might add a little bit more, but I'm hoping that it holds here, and we'll just have to see. What else? Oh yeah, MOG. I wanted to give you an update on that. So we bought MOG hoping that it was ready to push up. I think we bought it actually right here on May 19th maybe. And it's up about 100%. So, you know, if you wanted to take some profits, you could on this 2X. I mean, this is a shooting star candle that's forming, and it closes in about 6 hours. So, I mean, that wouldn't be a good candle. It could be a reversal candle, actually back-to-back reversal candles. Yeah, I mean, it could reverse here, but as long as it holds TP1, I think there's a good shot it goes up to TP2. It just really depends on Bitcoin and the market in general. I mean, that would be about a 10x move once it does get up there, but I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. There is a chance that it could come right back down and retest some of these areas that it just escaped from, so just be aware of that. And that's why we usually take some initial investment out at 2 or 3x in our Discord group. You know, it's better to be safe, especially in situations like this where Bitcoin could dip down again. But definitely have your long-term positions. I mean, this is like a short-term play for us, but have your long-term positions and just keep them, and then play with a short-term back, because you never really know what price is going to do, and it's good to have skin in the game just in case price keeps going up. And that's what I did with things like QUBIC. Speaking of which, I can pull up QUBIC here in a second. What is this one? Oh yeah, somebody wanted me to, let me go ahead and pull up QUBIC here. Someone wanted me to look at QUIL, and I don't know anything about QUIL. I just know when I look at the chart, this is somebody in our group that asked me to look at it. I just know when I look at the chart, it's in a consolidation pattern. It's too new to really know what the pattern is going to do exactly. It is under the 50 RSI, so it's bearish right now currently, and you know, Engineering Robo AI also says that it's bearish. And again, anybody interested in this TradingView indicator package, the friend of mine that's working on it, that's an engineer, he said it's going to be available next month, so I'll make an update when that's available, because I know a lot of you are interested in it. So let's see. I mean, there's probably a pretty good chance it's going to come down to support, I would think, but maybe it just holds at this order block here as well. But once it gets above the bullish line, that's when it can really take off, and I think the first target would be about $1. And then this is another one they asked me to look at, which this one is bullish right now on the daily, and it's called Origin Dollar Governance, OGV. There is some sign here that it keeps rejecting, so main thing, it needs to stay above the bullish line, and if it does, then it'll be fine, because there is a lot of support there. TB1 is 3 cents, TB2 is about 6 cents, so if it keeps going, you know, it's about a whatever 3x, 6x, something like that. And then QUBIC, there's not enough, let me just see here, I don't think there's enough information on these new QUBIC charts. Yeah, it's just not enough. I mean, this does look like a bull flag, but I wish I had the rest of the history here on TradingView for QUBIC, but I don't. I would just say on this, you know, it's more sideways most likely, because this is already a retrace down to the like 786. It's well past the golden pocket, and it could even dip down here to the I don't know, the 2500 range maybe. So if you really like this project, just, you know, keep doing what you're doing. It's down, what, 70% or more? Let's see. Yeah, it's down 70%. So I would say, you know, if it were me, not financial advice, obviously, but if it were me, I would just keep nibbling at it. You know, you could even put a low ball figure down here at 2,500 or something. Hopefully you get it. I'd be surprised if it dipped any further than that. I just can't imagine that happened. That would show a lot of weakness. Okay, okay, so let's just see if we can find any new tokens here. I think that's all I wanted to talk about on that other stuff, yeah. I did find a couple of new, so there's a feature on Nansen Professional called Hot Contracts where you can look and find different liquidity pools for brand new tokens, or maybe, you know, maybe they're existing tokens that have been around for a year or more. And you can see how much TVL is in, you can see how many smart money wallets are in, how many retail wallets, and what the inflow is. And you can filter it all out, so it's very useful. But there's also a lot of other things you can look at, like multi-sig. I did find a couple new tokens that I haven't seen before in there, and these are memes. Let me just see if there's any interesting wallets that have gotten into these. I haven't charted any of this, so you'd have to look it up yourself, but let's just check a couple of these wallets here to see if they're good ones. And we can view their P&L now. This is a new feature with Nansen where you can actually view their win rate and their total P&L, which isn't great. It's a good example of a fully meme wallet that hasn't done very well. So I don't know anything about this token, but if you want to look it up, it's called PEEZY. And then this one's named GROYPER. Looks like there's been some selling on this one last 24 hours, a lot of selling. So I don't think this would be one you want to get in right away unless it's a good discount. Just, you know, looking at the chart, you have to see if it was a good discount or not. It's been big numbers here as far as conviction. You know, somebody believes in this one anyway. Yeah, this is a pretty good wallet. They've got a realized P&L of 560,000. Doesn't look like they trade too much though. Another good one, 68% win rate. Let me see, when did they buy this? 27th. Okay, so this token's been out for a couple of days. I don't even know if I'm gonna have the right. Oh, we'll just look at this one. Okay, yeah, so it is dipping down. If I have the right contract. This one's on Poloniex. Yeah, so if you know anything about this project, maybe you know the person that made it, or you know, who's involved with it, then, you know, maybe you want to jump into this one. If it's, I mean, clearly this is your resistance right here, so, and that's probably your support right there. Just for now anyway. I mean, it's just too new to know. It could even dip down further. But usually when you get a big candle like this, you get a 50% retracement out of it. And that's about what this line represents, but it continues to reject. So currently I would say it's probably bearish, but you know, that could be a bull flag that'll eventually turn into higher prices. Possibly, I'm not saying it will, for sure. All right, okay, let's look at some of the tokens that are on token inflow. Actually, no, let's look at signals. So what signals are, if it'll pop up here, sometimes this AI signal option doesn't pop up right away. It kind of learns what tokens I want to look at, you know, what types of tokens, like low cap or that sort of thing. It learns, you know, uses a machine learning to find the tokens that are best suited for your trading style, but it's not popping up right now. So we'll just look at the regular one. I mean, this one works too. If we wanted to just look at the token flow for smart money, we would filter for that, and we're going to see only the things that smart money is jumping into. And what I want to see here, and this is one of the ways that I found things like infra or MOG did like a 25 to 30x that we got into. What was that other one? Desync. Desync did like a 37x and we got it early. And that was in like 2 weeks it did that. So you have to get into them early, find them early. And sometimes smart money can help you do that. But I'm looking for a big multiplier here, much higher than the recent average. And this one's only like a 2x, so I'm not really interested in that. I'm looking for low caps as well. That's important to me. Let's see, GLM, that's an old one. Yeah, smart money received, so that means it's coming into their wallet. This could be a good one. Oh, this is Golem, I believe. Yeah, this is an older one, but we'll look at it. I mean, it's 500 million. I usually don't look at a 500 million. Actually, that's the FDV. I don't know what the actual market cap is. They are going to make it to where you can see the market cap fairly soon. They're working on that. Safe, I've seen this one popping up lately, so we'll look at that. Yeah, smart money received. We just don't want to see smart money sent because that means that they're selling, that smart money selling. Let's see, flip 6x. We could look at that one, I suppose. See if we can find some good, interesting ones that aren't super high on the market cap. And I want to see like a 8 or 9 or 10x. And that's a pretty high market cap there. Yeah, you can see there's just not a whole lot. When Bitcoin's indecisive like this, there's not a whole lot to view. Okay, here we go. So the AI thing popped up for me. And you can put dislike or like I don't really want to see NFTs, so I'm just going to hit dislike. And eventually it'll know, okay, he doesn't want to see any NFTs. And then you tell it, it says tell us a bit more, and now it knows not to show me NFTs, I think. Let's see, so Andy is getting some interest. I know a lot of you are interested in Andy as well. Desync, that's that one we made a lot of money on. And it'll also give you a like an AI description here, telling you what desync is. Says the Destra network introduces desync token to decentralize internet aspects like DNS services, cloud solutions, etc. So you get a summary of what the token actually is just right here, so you don't have to go look it up. And then I think they're going to be adding that for pretty much every token going forward. But for now, it's just within this AI version of the signals that is just for you. And you can get this through both versions, either the Pioneer version or the Professional. And again, if you want that 10% off, there's only a few of us that they gave this 10% off code to. So if you want that 10% off code, check in my description if you decide to buy the yearly Pioneer version or Professional version. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like Desync might be getting some interest again, but it's just 2x, so I'm not really interested in that. This one is getting a ton of interest, 114 times recent average. I never have liked Ample though. I don't like the token in general. Let's see, that's 26 times. Okay, so balance has dropped on this one. So in this case, if you could short this token, this may be a short signal instead of a long signal, because they, the top 25 holders are selling right now over the last 24 hours. Okay, safe. We've got that one pulled up already. Trump, I don't know what this one is. Let's see. Okay, so CEX inflow, that means that a centralized exchange is receiving this Trump token from an individual's wallet. So usually when you see that, they're getting ready to sell. And that would make sense because this one's up 3x or so. Yeah, safe is popping up a lot, looks like. So yeah, we should look at that one for sure. Doge 2.0. Yeah, so top 25 holders balances increased on Doge 2.0. That's 95 times the daily average. So you may want to look at this one too. Increased on AMP. We'll look at AMP, although it is a high market cap, to me anyway. Okay, so let's just look at these. and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, I think this is that Golem. Yeah, Golem network token. Okay. Looks like a triangle that formed maybe. And then it broke out of the bull flag, broke out of the bull flag, and now it's just sitting on top of that upper trend line. There is a smart money wallet that has a high net worth that bought it today. I think this is like a $10 million wallet, yeah. Not a great win rate. Let's see what their all-time is. They do a lot of staking. Usually I avoid wallets like this because they're too into staking and moving money around. Well, while we're waiting on that to load, we'll look at safe. Well, no, actually I better stick to, okay, here we go. Yeah, they have a really low win rate, but they have a high realized P&L, so that tells me they must have hit big on something at one point, but you know, not a great wallet. I just want to look at Golem here. I wonder if I actually, okay, yeah. So it is starting to look like a triangle, or that, roughly. Maybe it's just doing a 50% retrace of the breakout, or of this move. Like if we put a fib on this. Yeah, it's about 50% down right now, so could be finding support there. It is above the 50 RSI, so that's good. It's showing bullish on multiple. Let's see what the daily shows. Yeah, daily is bullish on multiple, 3 hours bearish. Social intelligence score is a 3 and it's green, so that's good. Yeah, so it doesn't look bad. And then we'll jump to safe. Let's see what this wallet's about. Looks like they invested in QUIL. I think, I can't remember what it is, but safe is, it's got something to do with some of their token, and I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, so again, this is another not great wallet as far as win rate. Although really all you need is like a 40% win rate and you can be very successful. But it's not what I would consider a great wallet, you know, one that I would track exclusively. Okay, that's a high net worth wallet. Actually, both of those are. These are probably better wallets here because, well, that one's still 34% as well. Oh wait, did we already look at this one? No. Yeah, 37% win rate. Surely, oh, this must be a bot account. Yeah, this one's a 60% win rate, 12 million realized P&L, but it trades in and out all the time, which I don't really like. I don't like to follow these type of wallets, but it's clear that they're successful. So safe is currently $2.16. I'll just take a look and see what, I'm not gonna draw any lines here. I just want to see what it's doing on the, oh, this is a fairly new token, I guess. When did this one? No, April 2022. Yeah, it's currently bearish, but it could be turning, you know, anytime you see on this indicator where it's bearish and then it goes gray, then that means it could be flipping to bullish. So this one could be getting ready to go. Looks kind of like a cup and handle, doesn't it? So there's your cup and there's your handle, and now it's just trying to build market structure coming out of that. So as long as it holds, I don't know, somewhere around where it's at currently, actually 215 or so, then you're going to get a move up. Yeah, $3 to $5. I mean, it's probably a 2x move, the first move. All right, let's look at chain flip. I mean, it's pretty much bottomed out both on volume and price. See if we got any smart money. No, no smart money buying lately. Well, actually it does. Over the last 24 hours, there's 2 different funds that have been purchasing. And over the last 7 days, you got multiple, so this one definitely has some interest in it. I may have a chart for this, let's see. No. Yeah, it's kind of an ugly chart. There's really nothing to, there's no information here that would tell you anything other than it's bearish. So, personally, I would skip on that one. It's not actionable right now. It looks like Andy's already taken off again. I don't see any real high conviction smart money wallets buying. Let's see. Maybe it's just not showing up. Yeah, there's even been some profit taking, looks like, over the last 7 days. So, what would that put us at in May? So as it started climbing again, people were wanting to get out, but now you're up above the price from this point. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to build support on this breakout right there. It's clearly bullish currently. What was this move? From here to here was a 180%. I don't know, maybe people that bought back up here are taking some profits here. Maybe that's what's happening. So you want these people to clear out, almost like a soft reset, and then you're ready to go for another move. But I could see it. I mean, if it wanted to come back down and retest one of these areas, it definitely could. Like 9, whatever that is, 4 zeros and a 9. It could sweep this one time before it's ready to move again, or just go sideways. Again, really depends on what Bitcoin's doing. But I know a lot of people are banking on that token to do very well. Isn't that a base token? Oh, this one I'm looking at Ethereum, okay. So this is the Ethereum version of Andy. I guess I should make that clear. Doge 2.0, let's see. Any smart money? Nope. There's really no high conviction purchases either. Yeah, I never really know what to think when I see this. I mean, it's got some weird patterns with, people just buying very small amounts. Yeah, I really don't know what to say about this one. I mean, if I was to look at, hang on, just looking at the chart. Yeah, pretty strange looking chart. You got to be careful with these big pumps like this. So that's a 3.5x roughly. Sometimes you get that 50% move down first, unless it goes sideways more first. So on a big move up, a quick move, you're either going to get a longer extended consolidation sideways, kind of like a bull flag, or you're going to get a quick move down 50% and then some sideways movement. These usually don't sustain right away, but sometimes they do. And then AMP. Let's see if we've got any interesting wallets. Yeah, nothing really. I mean, there's one there, but just see if there's any high value wallets here we can look at that are not considered smart money. It's hard to get a smart money label in Nansen. You gotta be like the top 1% or whatever. But there's still good traders that aren't labeled smart money because maybe they haven't been trading in that wallet long enough or held a profit long enough, whatever. And some people don't sell right away too. They're holding till the end of the market. So a lot of these smart money wallets won't show up as smart money until the very top of the market because they held all the way through it. What is this one? It's just AMP, okay. Sometimes I already have these. No, that's just a fib. Okay, so here's the view of the AMP chart, which it's done a really good job to build market structure off that bottom. But there is a sell signal here currently on the daily. RSI is below the 50, but you know, it could be funding support here soon. I would just be careful because it is showing mostly bearish on all time frames except the 3 hour. Okay, well, I think this one's gone long enough. I'm going to end it there. You know, hit the like, subscribe, all that if you enjoyed what you had to hear. One of these days, I'm gonna try to, you know, add some new content. Like, I think I might have mentioned it before. I like to ride my bike. I mean, that's where this name came from. If you didn't know, you know, I'm big into biking and sailing, things like that. So that's where my handle came from. But maybe I'll do some other stuff like that so y'all can see some other things going on with me. So let me know in the comments, you know, if you have any questions. On, you know, y'all do a good job of giving me feedback. And speaking of feedback, hopefully the you know, the mic level was better this time for the people that had trouble last time. I think there was 2 of you, but it should be solid. I mean, I double checked everything. But yeah, just let me know if you got any questions, any requests, and I'll try to get to them the next video next week. All right, take care.